Business is competitive. Get over it. It's a form of war in some ways, and you will never, ever, ever get everybody to like you, ever. Nobody's happy 100% of the time. That's not how life works, my friends. It just doesn't work that way. I would personally rather invest someone who has felt the sting of failure and is motivated by the fear of failing a fourth time than someone who thinks they can never fail, because it will visit everybody.
Need motivation?
Watch the top 10 on Motivation Nation.
Believe Nation.
Oh, Believe Nation. Okay. All right, here we go.
Need motivation?
Watch the top 10 on Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Kevino'leary, and my take on his top 10 rules to success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Don't care what others think.
Business is competitive. Get over it. It's a form of war in some ways, and you will never, ever, ever get everybody to like you, ever. And if you spend your time worrying about that, you will fail for sure. You can't care about what people think. As long as you think you're doing the right thing, they'll end up respecting you. They may not like you. That's certainly my situation. I don't care if you like me. I care that you respect me and that I am being honest with you about what I expect you to do for me if you're working for me or if I'm investing in you. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you got to get up in the morning understanding there's some guy in Mumbai or Shanghai or somewhere in China that wants to kick your ass and is coming for you 24/7, because it's true. But if you can deal with all that, you'll be okay.
Rule number 2, be a problem solver.
When you meet with people that can help you grow your career or get your objective done or help you with your mandate, think about it this way. Because this is advice I give to everybody that's trying to get a job or move up or even advance their own business. If you had 15 minutes with somebody you wanted to work with and you talk about yourself for those 15 minutes, that's a mistake. What you should be talking about is how you can solve problems for them. All the hires in my companies and the people I hire within my own, venture capital firm and private equity firm are people that came to me with really short resumes, basically one line saying, I need to meet you because I'm going to solve some big problems for you and help you build your business a lot faster. That's it. I'm interested. I want to hear what you have to say. I don't care where you went to high school, what the name of your dog was. I couldn't care less. But if you've done some work and you can tell me how you can advance what I'm trying to do, you're hired, Kendall. And then I'll give you 6 months to go prove it. Do that all the time, and it really works. Think about that. Think about talking to people about how you can affect their outcome.
Rule number 3, focus on respect.
I'm a manager at 19 years old. Lately, I've been running into some problems with some staff being insubordinate when asking them to do simple tasks. I'm not sure how to go about disciplining them. What makes it a bit awkward for me is that I'm probably the youngest person in my organization, or one of the youngest. So often I find people disregard my authority. Can I go around this the right way?
Reza, 19-year-old manager. Born to lead, my friend. That's what it sounds like to me. 19 years old. Here's the key to being a successful manager. People don't have to like you. They have to respect you. And you have to respect them too. Great managers in life, and I've gone through this in my career, you don't have to like the people that work for you, but you have to show them respect and they have to reciprocate that. In managing companies, it's all about respect. And it's primarily setting goals for people and asking them to buy into those goals and agreeing with you that those are achievable and giving them at least 3 months to go achieve them. So I wouldn't get worried about the social impact or the concerns about being a manager at 19. It doesn't matter how old you are, it's irrelevant. It matters if people are willing to follow you, respect you, listen to you, work with you, and set goals together that you both achieve. If you can do that at 19, you are a friggin' rock star, my friend. And I have a sense that maybe you are. But remember, show respect, and respect something that you don't have, experience. Because when you're 19, you don't have any of that. So if you meet somebody that's working for you that's a lot older, respect what they know that you don't. It's all about respect.
Rule number 4, don't seek work-life balance.
Do you believe there's such a thing as work-life balance?
No, I don't buy that. And I tell my entrepreneurs, if you're going to take that life and you want to be an entrepreneur and build a company, there is no work-life balance. You sacrifice your personal life to pay for freedom later in life. When you're young and you're working, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, you're giving up the soccer game if you have kids, you're giving up the picnic and all that stuff, but you're doing it so that when you're in your 50s and 60s, you choose to do whatever you like. Now, I retired for 3 years, and my mandate for that 36-month period was to visit every beach on earth. Every beach that was legendary. In Cambodia, in Cyprus, in Tunisia, I hit them all. I got really bored. Let's talk about writing books, because I'm working on my 4th now. I'm hating every minute of it, but I think it's going to be my best. But I always say that about every book. How do you do yours?
This book came when I was on tour last year, and I was hitting the city every 4 days and doing a speech in front of a group, and the questions that people asked me, I just kept like a note of what people kept asking me over and over again, and then it turned it into.
And you got thematically, you would get some very questions over and over again that people had, right? And you say that is a kernel. That's an important question because they keep getting it all the time. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I was on tour and people kept asking me, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my purpose? How do I find my purpose? It's like the number one question in every city across America. I said, well, that's pretty easy. You don't have to sit on top of a mountain for 10 years or hire a $20,000 business coach. There's a 3-step process to find your purpose. And I just guided them through it. And then everyone's, hey, pick me, do it with me. It's like, okay, well, I'll turn it into a book. And that became Built to Serve.
Sounds good. I got to read that book now. That sounds pretty good. I got to find my purpose. I've really enjoyed our time today. It's
great.
You're a good guy.
Thank you.
I'm going to endorse you. It's fantastic.
Rule number 5, be honest.
If your mandate in your life is to just build your personal brand, you will fail. That's not how it works. You have to be transparent and honest about something you know a lot about, or at least feel very passionate about, and people will feel that connection. And if they connect because they believe you and you're honest, it'll work. And I'll tell you something you should understand. People smell bullshit a mile away.
That's true.
Real fast.
Yeah.
And if you just can't do it without bullshitting them, you are never going to get anywhere. So try and be honest and see if you can actually play it out that way. Not everybody can do it. This guy built a huge brand. My son is a massive fan of his because he said, Dad, that guy just tells the truth wherever it goes. That's it. That's why he's a rock star.
Rule number 6, find your Tesla.
I don't know how people, I know how they do it. I can't do it. But to have these different branches coming off of the same tree and tending to them all contemporaneously, it's out of my pay grade.
My take is you get a core gig that you know you're good at and is your baseline. It's the thing you feed and maintain and make sure it works. You try and make it more efficient, whatever that is. And then if you're an entrepreneur and you want to explore something, and you can use an example like an Elon Musk who's a Uber entrepreneur.
Sure.
Tesla probably eats up 60%, 70% of his week, but he's also in the battery business and he's shooting stuff into space. I get all that, but the one that he cares about the most is the one that's having the biggest challenges of growth, which is Tesla right now. I know this because my son's an intern for him and he's focused.
Yeah.
He doesn't waste his time. He comes in, he works like hell, and I think everybody should find their Tesla, make sure that they're staying focused on that. And then if you want to shoot rockets into space or make batteries or do something else, that's cool. But unless you're a multitasker, a proven one, I think getting one thing right proves that you can do it is very important.
Rule number 7, try apprenticeship.
I'm 28, located in Vancouver without a degree. I have 2 years of experience in college and a few years working as an experience in sales. My question is, what would be my best shot of making it into the financial industry? Am I too old to giving it a shot?
Here's what I've learned in life. It's really good to apprentice and learn from masters that know a lot more and have experience that you don't have. If you like financial services, you've got to go work for somebody in financial services. You have to be an intern somewhere. They're going to treat you like crap. They're going to pay you nothing, but you're going to learn something. If you can spend a year working for a company that you aspire to actually be a manager in or accelerate in, that's a great outcome for you. Now, is that insurance? Or is it in the credit industry? Is it for a bank, an investment banker? I don't know. It's really what you want to do, because it sounds like you want to kind of pivot into the world of finance. The only way to play the game there, Aaron, is to go work in it and learn how tough it is. And by the way, they take guys like you and they work you 20 hours a day, pay you nothing. It's brutal, but you learn so much. Do it for a year to 18 months, and then you can launch yourself. So look, if you have the interest and the desire, and it sounds like you do, listen to what I just said. Go be an intern, and good luck to you. And by the way, stop your whining when you haven't had any sleep and you're doing 7 days a week. Remember, I told you it was going to be that hard, but it's worth it. You'll learn.
Rule number 8, stay focused.
Nobody's happy 100% of the time. That's not how life works, my friends. It just doesn't work that way. But you know, you got to get up in the morning and ask yourself, what can I do today that solves for 3 problems for me? 1, most of us are working. I'm going to be working until I drop dead. So I want to get something done towards that. How can I do something for my family? Because family first all the time. What can you do with your family? And if you're married or living with your significant other, what can I do to help them? Because a happy significant other, you know, the happy wife, happy life, well, these days, happy significant other, happy life. So you got to balance all these 3 things with your day. You got to take care of who you're living with. You got to take care of your family. You got to take care of your business. And when you're doing these things, you're going to find that they eat up 60, 70% of your day. If your mind goes idle, sometimes you can get depressed. It's happened to me too. You know, things get on my mind. I can't sleep. I worry about it. It's the wrong thing to do. You've got to think big picture. Happiness is so hard to pursue, and anybody that tells you they're happy 100% of the time is full of shit. That is so not true. Everybody deals with stress, regardless of your situation. I have people that are friends of mine that are incredibly wealthy and they're miserable. I know people that are struggling financially and are happy with their families. So it has nothing to do with money. Happiness, it's not a destination, it's a journey. Every day's different, and life is going to throw you some crazy stuff. Remember this conversation when it happens. Stay focused. Don't go nuts. Try and stay focused on the things that matter in your life. Your job, your family. Those are basically it. And the things you love. You know, if you love to play music, you love art, you got to spend some time with that too.
Rule number 9, turn failure into motivation.
I would personally rather invest someone who has felt the sting of failure and is motivated by the fear of failing a 4th time than someone who thinks they can never fail, because it will visit everybody. It just does. I've had plenty of failures. Sometimes it's luck, Mike. Sometimes it's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time 3 times in a row, and the 4th is the one that's going to work. I'd invest in that guy.
Sure.
I think he probably has learned something from his mistakes, and that's sometimes what they are. But failure, I mean, it is just part of everybody's life, and there's many ways to fail. And it's really easy to fail and very hard to succeed.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is establish your credit rating.
Even though I don't endorse credit cards, it's very hard to advance your credit rating without having one. So it's good to get a credit card, put maybe $1,000 limit on it, and then start paying off, you know, use $200 a month and pay it off every month. So I told my son, as soon as he could get one, Trevor, put $50 on the card and pay it off. And now he's got a pristine credit rating, and he's only ever put a few $1,000s through the card. Everybody should understand that. There's no way to game that system. You've got to establish a credit rating or you can't borrow.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch something and get motivated and just get inspired, you have a 35% chance of actually following through. But when you get motivated and then you actually create an action plan for what you're gonna do, you increase it from 35% to 91% chance of you actually following through. And when you share your plan publicly, that jumps to 95% chance of following through. So I want that for you. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
What is a hobby versus a business? That's what Rosalie's first question. In my definition of that is, if you start a company, you start a business, you start a product, you start something that you think should make money, if it's not making money after 3 years, that never was a business, it was a hobby. And you gotta take it behind the barn, you gotta shoot it. Unless you wanna just spend your time losing money. Because, you know, great entrepreneurs, and I'm telling you, this happens to every entrepreneur, it's really happened to me, not everything works out. You gotta try things, the first 2 may not work, the first 3 may not work, and then finally you get a winner. You keep trying, that's the whole idea. That's the journey of entrepreneurship.
If you want 10 more awesome rules from Kevin O'Leary, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
If you don't start putting aside at least $100 a week if you've got a job, you will have nothing at the end of your career to live off. If you want to control your own destiny,